Relocation can disrupt and destroy your marriage if you allow it. My name is Temi Tokwe, and once again, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we'll be talking about something very, very important to me. Okay, so I relocated about 2.5 years ago, thereabout, and I have heard, I have seen how marriages that were so called stable and had balance in their home country relocate to another country, and then somehow there's a lot of destabilization, there's even separation. In some instances, there's a whole lot of bitterness, and then you're thinking that did this bitterness just start? What happened along the way? So we're talking about some of that, looking at some real life examples and some experiences, of course, that we heard of on social media. Some I've had to counsel, of course, without mentioning any names at all. We'll be looking at what really happened. Why does it look like when marriages get abroad, or when people get abroad, their marriages start to crumble? One of the key things that we did ourselves, was to have a mindset shift. I had to have a mindset shift. My husband had to have a mindset shift as well too. It's not something that is easy to come about, but if it's something, if you desire balance, if you desire stability in your marriage, you need to have a mindset shift. Because the status quo, the modus operandi of running things in your home country may not work for you here. Okay, now let's dig right into it. Some men would say, when my wife came abroad, she changed. And some women would come abroad and say, when I got here, I realized that I have been suffering, or I realized the imbalance in my home. Does that mean that they were pretending in the home country? I don't think so. I think that the structure, the environment, the societal expectations back home, right, forces you somehow to endure, forces you somehow to overlook some certain things, right, that may be abused, okay? And because, okay, I don't have a place to go to, or I'm not earning money. For some women, they tend to overlook certain things and endure certain abuse. And then when they come over abroad, right, they realize that they have earning capacity. They realize that they can add value beyond what they do at home. They have the empowerment, right, of earning on their own, and they realize that I should be treated better. Okay, now, what were the things that made marriages work back home or seem balanced, even though there may be a lot of imbalance? Number one was the support system and the structure. Let me explain that a little bit. So, for a lot of people, you either have maybe house help, people helping you, nannies. You have family members come stay with you. For me in Nigeria, I had my mother-in-law stay with me for 7 years, and I loved it. Okay, but for some other people, they have this kind of support structure, and so what could weigh them down unnecessarily sometimes in terms of house chores, in terms of being domesticated, they are able to outsource that. But when you are abroad, it's very expensive. Yeah, it is very expensive to outsource those things. Even when I was relocating, my sisters were like, I don't know how you're going to cope with your kids. How you're going to do all the housework and all of that. I'm like, oh, get that bridge, you're going to cross it. Oh God, I'm shouting more now, but my children are older, so I'm able to say, oh, I need to do this. If you don't do it well, you go back and do it again. But some people that have smaller kids, if they relocate, that shift from I have all the help that I have to nobody's helping me out becomes a very big deal. And then both the husband and the wife would need to join hands together to make this work. That's the mistake that some people make. They come here and they still have the mindset that, okay, my wife is the home builder and she's the one that should put things together, and mine is just to go and look for the money. And then the woman too is also looking for the money abroad, and then it becomes too much. So yeah, those are the things that helped to make marriage kind of work, the support system and the structure that people had back home. That was number one. Number two was the societal expectation around certain issues, right? The things that you could endure back home, a lot of people cannot endure it here. And a lot of times, sometimes people can come here and they expose themselves to certain things, and they realize that, oh, what I had back home wasn't the right structure in terms of how this woman is treating me or how this man is treating me. Let me give you a typical example. You know, back home, a lot of women would say, my money is my money and your money is our money. That doesn't work here. Financial transparency is very, very important. If you're waiting for only the man to do every single thing, he may be able to do every single thing, but there might not be any savings, there might not be any investment, there might not, it's going to weigh him down a bit. So what makes people succeed financially, particularly when it comes to home structure, is the unity and the financial transparency between themselves and their spouse. So everybody is bringing something financially to the table, so we're pulling resources together. I want to do a mortgage, for example. They look at both what is coming in from the husband's side, what is coming in from the wife's side. So that the joint income review and analysis is very, very important to assessing credit in this side of the world. And so if one person is the only one doing it, it becomes very difficult. Okay, yeah. And so what then changed? Let's look at it. What are the things that change for a lot of people? Why does it look like a lot of homes are crumbling? Now, I have a lot of points here, so I want you to listen. If you are abroad, right, particularly for those that got married back home and they had to relocate, exposure, experience, awareness changed for a lot of people. They saw what they could, how they should be treated. Number two was that what changed that is affecting a lot of marriage is people's inability to adjust and be teachable. People don't want to be teachable. This is the way I am. I did not pretend to you. I am not domesticated. I like to have my money and keep my money by myself. That's the mindset of some people, and they are refusing to adjust to those mindsets. In this kind of environment, there will be conflict. People will have issues. They will have issues with each other. Then the third one I have here is people's inability to collaborate and partner with their spouse. So what they have is a control tendency. So that's particularly for a lot of cholerics. They like control. They like to be in charge. They like to be seen as superior, so to speak. And so you have that mindset of, I am superior. I don't want to collaborate. I do not want any form of partnership. That kind of mindset is not going to hold water in this kind of environment. Your marriage will crumble. Your marriage will crumble. All those boss. I'm not saying that the man is not the leader or the head of the home, but the mindset that of control, of subduing, of not collaborating, it's going to impact you negatively. It's going to impact your relationship negatively. So throw it out of the window. Take it out. It's not going to help you at all. Okay. Now, one of the things that are going to help you, I call them the key success factor. I call them the key success indicators of things that will help you to achieve balance once you relocate. Okay, those are the things that worked for me. Okay, because we experienced some sort of conflict as well at the very beginning, and we had to sit down to say, okay, what can we do? What are the things that we're having conflicts over? And then we just kind of like finalize. Everybody just kind of, especially when it comes to house chores. I've never been a very domesticated person. So what are the key things that I used to do then, even in Nigeria, was I had help. So coming here, the dynamics change. And of course, even with the growing children, my husband had to sit down and say, okay, but I cannot do this by myself. And say, of course, I don't expect you to do it. Okay, I will do this part, I'll do this part, and that was it. That was it. And that everybody just kind of like know what they're supposed to do. We have deep cleaning days. Everybody knows, okay, you are the one that will do this one. For the children, I just switch it up. So everybody's kind of like involved. Okay, now, what are the key success factors? I mentioned 5 of them. Listen closely. Number 1 is the mindset shift. I've mentioned that. The mindset that you had back home, if it was not that of partnership and collaboration and support, that has to change. One person cannot do it all. It comes to parenting, in terms of financial, in terms of running the home. Mindset shift is very, very important. Okay, that's your village mindset. Sorry, I said that. Your village mindset, or the mindset of master, Lord, King, Savior, of you doing everything, you're going to wear out. Okay, that's number one. Number two is full transparency. I kind of like alluded to that earlier, that it's very important that you have full transparency in terms of your finances, in terms of your planning, in terms of even job search. You can't, in Nigeria, somebody, maybe the husband, for example, gets a job and he just carries his bag and traveling the next day or something. That kind of thing cannot happen here. You have to plan it out. You have to. It's not that it cannot happen, but you can't just disrupt the cycle or structure of how things are without discussing with your spouse. You can't. It's not something that, okay, I want to unilaterally make a decision. The way you will make it that, oh, your own job offer came and I have taken it. You sit down as a family with your spouse to discuss it. What are the pros, what are the cons? Okay, this is how it's going to change the dynamics in our home. How are we going to then how are we going to take the kids to school if it's something that would require that, okay, somebody has to travel all the time. It's an decision that you have to make. So full transparency is important. Number three is that you must talk. You must talk. Okay? Don't allow yourself to be able to magnify things. Don't allow yourself to magnify things. You're not happy about something. I didn't say nag. Have a conversation about it. You cannot but talk. If you don't talk, if you say, oh, I want to keep it inside of me, resentment will set in. Then number four, which is very, very important, is finding a community of like-minded people. One of the key things that has helped us is finding a community of like-minded couples. People that are very intentional about their marriage, and they take their marriage seriously, right? And so, being in the midst of those people, you realize that some of the things that you thought were peculiar to your marriage, it's common. How did these people resolve it? Do you understand? So when you're in the midst of people that are like-minded, they take their marriage seriously, you realize that it helps you to strike a balance. It helps you to strike a balance. I was in one of the events in one of the groups that I am in Valentine's Day, and we had a very wholesome conversation around conflict resolution. And people were talking about how they resolve conflicts in their homes and all of those things. It helps you to put perspective to things that, it's not peculiar to me, right? And I'm able to navigate certain phase. So if you're not part of a community, join my community here in Ireland, and I'm going to help you to achieve balance in your relationship. So that's it. Abroad relocation does not destroy your marriage. What destroys the marriage is the pre-existing conditions that were not dealt with, the pre-existing mindset that refuses to change, the inability to adjust. Those are the things that destroys the marriage, not relocation. I hope this made sense to you. Until the next time, see you. God bless you. Bye.